Welcome to the Verdict Zone, where we judge the line between foolish and visionary. Today, we're diving into a business parable that will make you question everything you think you know about value. Imagine this: a university classroom, a business professor looking to spark some creativity. He gives his students a truly strange assignment: dream up the most absurd, most ridiculous business model you can possibly think of. The goal wasn't to create a real company, it was to shatter the mental barriers that stop us from thinking outside the box. The room buzzes with energy. Ideas are thrown around, each one more laughable than the last. Someone suggests a door-to-door paperclip delivery service. Another pitches a mobile app for rating public benches. Laughter fills the air. A third student proposes a subscription box for single socks. But then, one student stands up, a glint in his eye, and delivers the punchline that wins the day. He says, "I'm going to sell Tumbleweed." The class absolutely erupts. It's perfect. It's the peak of absurdity. Selling something that's literally just dead, rolling garbage found on the side of the road. The professor chuckles, the students applaud the sheer foolishness of it, and the assignment is considered a success. It was the joke of the semester. For everyone else in that room, the class ended, and they moved on to what they considered serious business projects. They went back to studying market caps, supply chains for established products, and traditional business plans. But for that one student, the laughter didn't fade away. It echoed. The idea of selling Tumbleweed, the very thing that made everyone else dismiss it, stuck with him. It wasn't a joke to him, it was a puzzle. He started to see something that no one else in that classroom, including the professor, had noticed. He saw the hidden logic behind the laughter. First, the raw material. Tumbleweeds are, for all intents and purposes, free. They are a nuisance, littering the desert landscape across the American West. Landowners and highway departments spend money just to clear them away. So, his cost of goods was literally zero. Second, the product itself is incredible. It's a plant that's already dead. It doesn't rot, it doesn't spoil, and it doesn't need watering. It can be stored indefinitely in a dry place without any degradation in quality. It's the perfect inventory. But the most critical piece of the puzzle, the one that turned a joke into a genius idea, was identifying a customer. He wasn't thinking about selling tumbleweeds as novelty gifts to tourists. He was thinking bigger. He asked himself a simple question: who in the world would actually pay good money for an authentic, high-quality tumbleweed? And the answer was brilliant: the Hollywood film industry. Think about it. Every Western ever made. Every post-apocalyptic movie set in a desolate wasteland. Every commercial trying to evoke a sense of the dusty, iconic American frontier. They all need set dressing, and nothing says lonely desert quite like a tumbleweed rolling across the screen. And that's the kicker: many of these productions aren't even filmed in a real desert. They're shot on soundstages in Los Angeles or in the forests of Canada, where tumbleweeds are nowhere to be found. Set designers and prop masters were desperate. Their options were to build expensive, fake-looking props from scratch or waste time and money sending crews out to scour the desert for a few decent-looking specimens. This student didn't just see a product, he saw a major pain point in a multi-billion-dollar industry. So what did he do? He did what visionaries do. He ignored the laughter and took action. He quit school. He bought a used van, drove out into the vast, open landscapes of Arizona and Nevada, and started harvesting. He wasn't just grabbing any old bush, he learned to spot the good ones, the perfectly spherical, classic-looking tumbleweeds you see in the movies. He was becoming a connoisseur of what everyone else considered trash. He rented a small, cheap warehouse to store his inventory. He built a simple website with a few pictures and a phone number. His entire startup cost was minimal: the gas for his van, the rent for his warehouse, and his own time. He wasn't trying to market to the entire world. He wasn't buying ads or trying to go viral. He was surgically targeting a very specific, very wealthy niche. He was solving a problem for people who had big budgets and an urgent need. He became the answer to the question: where on earth do we get a truckload of authentic tumbleweeds by next Tuesday? The verdict from the market came in loud and clear, and it wasn't a joke. His phone started ringing. First, it was small independent films, then commercial shoots, then major television shows. Before long, the biggest studios in Hollywood had his number on speed dial. He became the undisputed #1 supplier of tumbleweed to the film and television industry, not just in America, but globally. He built a real, profitable, and scalable business from an idea that was literally designed to be the stupidest one in the room. He made a heap of money selling something that millions of people drive past every single day without giving it a second thought. This story forces us to ask a critical question. Is the difference between a joke and a juggernaut simply the willingness to act? Is it just the clarity to see a hidden niche that everyone else is blind to? While his classmates were busy studying business theory from textbooks, he was out in the world, passing the ultimate practical exam. He found a real problem: where do we get authentic tumbleweed? And he made himself the only answer. The world laughed, and he built an empire out of the punchline. This isn't just some weird success story about a quirky entrepreneur. It's a powerful lesson in perspective, in execution, and in having the courage to defy the laugh track. Think about this: opportunity often doesn't show up wearing a suit and tie, holding a perfect business plan. More often than not, it's dressed up as a joke. It's the idea that gets dismissed by the crowd, the thing that seems too simple or too strange to ever work. It's just waiting for that one person who listens, not for the punchline, but for the potential hidden inside it. So I want you to think for a moment. What ridiculous idea have you had that you dismissed because you thought people would laugh? What abundant, overlooked resource is all around you right now, being completely ignored? What problem exists that people complain about but no one is trying to solve in a new way? The next big thing is almost always hiding in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary or absurd. What's your verdict on the tumbleweed millionaire? Was he a visionary or just lucky? Do you think you could have seen the potential in that idea? Subscribe to the Verdict Zone, hit that notification bell, and tell us your most ridiculous business idea in the comments below. Let's judge the next big thing together. Thanks for watching.